Yo, what is going on, everybody? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we are going to be going over Week 10 start or sit decisions at the tight end position. We're going to be going over every single game from Thursday Night Football tonight all the way till Monday Night Football and tell you whether you should start or sit every single tight end in those games. So before we get into it, if at any point inside of this video you end up enjoying, you end up having a great time, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Not only is it free, I put out content every single day to help you guys win that 2020 Fantasy Football Championship. And real quick before we get into it, I'd like to also give you guys a quick word from my friends and my sponsor over at OverlayDFS.com. OverlayDFS.com is my favorite place to play daily fantasy sports, especially here on the matchup shop. Now, they also offer progressive bonus games that you can also play as well, the tournament that's also on the top of the screen, but I mostly play in the matchup shop game variant on OverlayDFS.com. It's so simple. Pretty much you got to choose between the matchups. This is for Thursday night tonight. They typically add more than this, so there may be a little bit more than these matchups when you actually log on Thursday night, but the lines do end up moving, so you want to get them right when you see them because the lines do move just like in real sports betting. Pretty much what it is player versus player fantasy football. Who scores more fantasy points? Derrick Henry minus 8.5 or Jonnu Smith plus 8.5? Who scores more fantasy points? Ryan Tannehill minus 5.5 or AJ Brown plus 5.5. It is that simple. You guys do research all week long to win your fantasy football league, so why not win some cash on the side on OverlayDFS.com. And we are back. Let's get into it. Week 10 tight end start or sit decisions. We begin with tonight's game, Thursday Night Football, Colts at the Atlanta Titans. Now, Jonnu Smith has kind of been on a bit of a bender. Now, this bender is kind of like a real one, where it starts off really strong, and then you end up like falling down the fucking stairs, you get hurt. That was a couple weeks ago, and then you start to ramp up again, and then you puke, you have those couple shit games, and then you rally by fucking chugging 7 more beers, and now you are at the point where Jonnu Smith is going to be this week, his bounce back, his rebound, and it is going to be a great one. Jonnu Smith is going to play well here up against the Indianapolis Colts tonight on Thursday night. I believe in Jonnu Smith. He is a very talented tight end, and Ryan Tannehill really does like to look his way when driving up the field as well as in the red zone, so I like Jonnu Smith as a start in this matchup, even up against a tougher Colts defense. For the Colts, it's kind of a smorgasbord of tight ends. Now, Jack Doyle is going to be missing this game, which makes me kind of like Trey Burton, but then I start thinking about it. Do I trust Phillip Rivers in this matchup? Do I think this is going to be close? In my opinion, I think this game is going to be a certified routing by the Tennessee Titans, a absolute butt-fucking of the Indianapolis Colts. So I don't really think Trey Burton is going to do all that good in this game, but if you're stuck in kind of one of those shitty scenarios where you don't have that many, or you don't have a tight end, maybe that's on bye, Trey Burton isn't a bad fill-in option, but would I want to start him if I had him versus some other guy that's around the top 12 area? No, I would prefer to start the other guy over Trey Burton. Next matchup here, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Football Giants to begin the 1 o'clock slate of games on Sunday. In this matchup, I like both tight ends. Now, Evan Ingram finally has started to do something recently. Finally, after a season of bending you over the table when you started him and him just fisting you, going to absolute town, he didn't even have the common courtesy to spit in his hand or lube up beforehand. That's what he was doing to you. Now, he's been doing that, but to your opponent. Now, it's not like he's dropping 20-point games, but he's been solid, 10-plus points the last couple of games. So I'll believe in him again up against the Philadelphia Eagles, but based on how this season has been, I would not be surprised if the down spiral for Evan Ingram began again, but I'll fire him out again this week. For the Eagles, Dallas Goedert made his triumphant return 2 weeks ago before they went on the bye last week, and he got 1 catch, 1 reception. It was like 7 yards. Nothing to write home about. But here up against the New York Football Giants, coming off the bye, now he's going to be even more healthy. He's going to be ready to roll like his name was Stu Feiner, and I think he's going to go ahead and play quite well up against the New York Football Giants defense. Next game, here we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Robert Tonyan train has kind of slowed down, but I'm still all aboard the Tonyan train. Choo-choo! And I'm the head fucking conductor because Robert Tonyan has been very good thus far this season. Last week, he didn't score in probably the easiest matchup you've ever seen with your 2 eyes until you discover the matchup that is this week up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Robert Tonyan is going to bounce back, go back-to-back Michael Jordan 96-97 this week, and then next week, he's going to ball the fuck out. I love Robert Tonyan in this matchup up against a awful defense in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Speaking of, I love Tyler Eifert from a couple of years ago when he was on the Cincinnati Bengals, and he was one of those waiver wire darlings, those beautiful guys you just fucking snag off the waiver wire and are winners for you. Now, that's not Eifert anymore. This is Eifert, post-Andy Dalton era. Now he's in fucking Jacksonville. He's not a bad tight end, but he's not a guy that I would want to be starting, especially up against the Packers with Jake Lautone starting at the quarterback position. Next game, here we got the Washington football team at the Detroit Lions, and in this one, I like Mr. TJ Hawkinson. Now, the issue with Hawkinson this week would be whether or not Matthew Snapback suits up on Sunday, and Matthew Stafford is the starting quarterback for the team. Obviously, in my personal opinion, I've talked about this before and about all of these start-sit videos, but I do believe that Matthew Stafford is going to suit up on Sunday and play. Now, if he doesn't, and it's Chase Daniel, not as confident in Hawkinson, but I'd likely still start him over a lot of other guys you have. And then Logan Thomas is kind of just hit or miss, to be honest with you. And with, it seems like the other fucking quarterback, not named Alex Smith, Kyle Allen, he is just done for the season, and he was doing pretty well. Logan Thomas, that is with Kyle Allen. Now it's Alex Smith's season, so I'm not too sure you're going to want to be starting Logan Thomas this week. Next game, here we got the Texans at the Cleveland Browns, and in this one, I love Austin Hooper. The Texans defense sucks wee up against the tight end position, and Austin Hooper is making his triumphant return after being gone for the last couple of weeks, but now he is back to ball the fuck out up against a very bad Houston Texans defense. For the Texans, again, when both of these motherfuckers are back, you have no idea which one to start. They're like the 1-2 Mayweather if Mayweather forgot to give the 2, but you don't know which hand is one. Right? It's like that game when you're a kid and you put your hands up there and someone does it for you and they put like a coin in one hand, right? I'm doing it for you if you guys are watching. And the coins say in this hand, right? But then as they go to open this hand, they finagle it into the other hand and then they open it and then you're always wrong. That's pretty much the system here. You're always going to be wrong because you have no fucking idea what's going to happen. If you play Atkins, it'll be Fells. If you play Fells, it'll be Atkins. You really have no idea. So I just don't follow it. I just don't fuck with it. I don't play either of them. I don't fuck with you, the little stupid ass bitch. That is a song. I don't fuck with either Jordan Akins or Darren Fells in this matchup. Next game here, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers, and Tampa Bay Tom Brady was not very productive last week. Very productive. He was negative production. He was awful. Terrible, bad, sad, all those words. Terrible. He fucking sucked up against the New Orleans Saints, and there's no sugarcoating it. Gronk didn't do good. Want to know why? Because fucking Brady couldn't move the ball, but Gronk has looked good thus far this season. After that kind of early hump where it seemed like he wasn't running routes, like he was just blocking, now it appears that he's actually running routes, and he has been. He's been scoring tutties in this game up against the Carolina Panthers. I expect a bounce-back game for the whole Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I expect Rob Gronkowski to be on top there, scoring a tutty in this matchup to make him a start. Ian Thomas for the Panthers is kind of that kind of player that you can envision being good. He has the metrics to be a good tight end in the NFL. But right now, it's just a little too early in his development for him to be that guy, so he's going to be a sit for me this week up against Tampa Bay, Tom Brady. Next matchup, we got my Miami Dolphins up against the Los Angeles Chargers in sunny Florida. Even though it's probably not sunny right now, I believe there's like a fucking hurricane going on there. So not too sunny now, but should be sunny on Sunday. Chargers at the Miami Dolphins. And Mike Gesicki, I just have no idea how to read it with Tua Tagovailoa in the offense. I just don't. I feel like Fitzpatrick liked him a lot. I didn't see him get that involved with Tua last week. He's a very good talent, and with Preston Williams on the IR, we could see Mike Gesicki ball out in this game. And then for the future, I feel very comfortable starting him. This is a very good matchup for Mr. Michael Gesicki. The issue is I don't trust him yet. If you are that kind of guy who likes to roll the dice, say, YOLO, fuck it, I want to play Mike Gesicki, I think he has a good matchup, I would not blame you. Not in the slightest. This is a very good matchup, a very juicy matchup for the tight end position, but it's just that I haven't seen it yet with Tua Tagovailoa under center for Mike Gesicki, so I'm going to go ahead and sit him down. For Hunter Henry, now it's kind of been the same deal with Henry as it has been with Gesicki, a guy that you think is a freak athlete. I personally believe both good athletes, just not getting the ball as much. Obviously, Justin Herbert, the pervert, just does not, or Horsecock Herbert, just doesn't throw the ball to the tight end as much as Phillip Rivers does. There's a reason why, because Phillip Rivers loves that goddamn tight end. There's a reason why the man had 11 kids. It kind of messed up the joke a little, but Hunter Henry has been all right this season, but he hasn't been beautiful. But I think there's going to be a higher scoring game in Miami, so I think Henry will do all right in this matchup. Next game here, we got the Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders. If you guys haven't ended up enjoying this video thus far, please make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. I would really appreciate it, as would you, because you get all this banger flying content going into your pocket, onto your cellular device, or maybe it goes on your computer, your fucking television. I don't know where you watch me. Maybe you watch me or you just listen to me in the car. Wherever that is, make sure you hit that subscribe button on here and on the podcast app. I'm on all of those motherfuckers. Just like I'm on your opponent, because we are going to win every single goddamn game this week. Broncos at the Raiders. Back to it. Noah Fant, Darren Waller both starts in this game. Waller, it is a no-brainer. He could be the one this week. I'm the one, like Justin Bieber in that fucking song with DJ Khaled, Chance the Rapper, and all those other motherfuckers. That was popular at my prom a couple of years ago. Oh, man, I'm getting old, boys. And girls. There are some girls that watch this. I'm getting fucking old. I am 21 years old. That was 4 years ago. That's crazy. Darren Waller, very good. Very, very good thus far this season. I will play him here up against a not-so-great Denver Broncos defense. Noah Fant has been banged up, but he has been playing well. This Raiders defense doesn't look that good. This game kind of screams higher scoring matchup, so I'm going to play Fant in this matchup. So I like Fant in this matchup. Fant has been very good thus far this season. Very reliable, obviously, aside from the point in the season where he was banged up. So I like him here up against the Raiders. Next matchup, here we got the Buffalo Bills at the Arizona Cardinals, a game that I project to be very high scoring thus far this week. Wouldn't be surprised if this game and the Dolphins game were the highest scoring affairs of the week. But with that said, the tight ends in either of these offenses are not very involved for the Arizona Cardinals. They have Dan Arnold, the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dan Arnold. I mean, he has a sick nickname, obviously, because I can kind of do the Arnie impression, but not a good player. Not that he's not a good player. You know, I feel bad when I, diss these guys. No one fucking knows who Dan Arnold is. Maybe Dan Arnold is watching this. I love you. I appreciate you. You made a good catch-up against the Dolphins. But with that said, you're not starting this fucking guy. So you sit him down. Dawson Knox one time if you're with me. Tyler Kroft, just not very good. They're kind of splitting there in Buffalo, so I'm not going to be starting either of those guys. Next game, here we got the San Francisco 49ers at the New Orleans Saints, and in this one, I like Jared Cook. Now, with Michael Thomas returning, it does, or he played last week, it just doesn't kind of flick as well in your fucking brain. It doesn't flick the switch where you get the light bulb over your brain to start Jared Cook, right? He'll get less work when Michael Thomas isn't there, or when Michael Thomas is there, but he's still touchdown guy, and there's all these other fucking tight ends around him. I think both tight ends scored last week. I don't think Jared Cook did, so what the fuck was that? But I expect a bounce-back game here up against the San Francisco 49ers. They got exposed last week by the tight end, but it just wasn't Robert Tonyan. For the 49ers, I'm stuck starting Jordan Reed in one fucking league of my leagues. I know you don't care about that, so I'm playing him. But I wouldn't advise you to. Like, I'm in a sticky situation over there. I'm looking like Mia Malkova's face after a couple rounds of a video that goes on the hub. So with that said, I'm not going to be starting Jordan Reed, or I'm going to be starting him personally for my lineup. But for you guys, I would not advise starting him. I just don't trust this offense under 9-inch Nick Mullins. Ross Dwelly also there, which further confuses this situation because both these tight ends are pretty good. If you have to start one, it's Reed for me. But it's a situation I'm kind of trying to read my way out of, or get out of the weeds over there. Stay off the weed, as Stephen A. Smith would say. Next game, here we got the Seattle Sea Chickens, the Seahawks at the Los Angeles Rams, and while this game could be high scoring as well, not for the tight ends. Third leg, Greg Olsen. Watch me drop my drawers and let us see my third leg. Big Greg is in the house, and I finna let these hoes choke. That is one of the most fire rap lyrics ever dropped by third leg Greg Olsen. One of my favorite tight ends. I actually went to school to my rival high school, obviously 50,000 years ago, because Greg Olsen's like 40 years old. Probably not. He's like 30-something, and I'm 21. But third leg Greg Olsen was good on the Carolina Panthers, is still an all-right tight end, but he just doesn't get enough use in the Seattle offense to be worthy of a start. Tyler Higbee's there. Gerald Everett is there for the Rams. It is a smorgasbord of fuckery. If you have to start one, it's Everett. Higbee just hasn't looked good. It was the case of what happened last year where we saw Everett go down, then Higbee elevated to the fucking moon. He went straight to the moon, smashed through the moon, and landed on Mars. That's what happened. But this year, with Everett healthy, Higbee just hasn't produced all that well. Besides that one game where he scored like 3 fucking touchdowns and triple-dicked it down if you played against him. But with that said, Higbee hasn't looked good. Everett really hasn't looked that good either. So I'm just sitting both of these motherfuckers. Next game here, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Eric Ebron scored a clutch touchdown up against the Dallas Cowboys. Like, you shouldn't have to say that. But he absolutely, he either stiff-armed the guy 6 feet under, or he hurdled someone. I don't remember what it was, but I remember it was beautiful. Juju fucking hugged him. They did some TikTok dance in the end zone after scoring. It was beautiful. Eric Ebron going up against the Bengals. Big Ben seems to like Eric Ebron now. I don't know what the fuck happened, what changed from earlier in the season to the end of the season, but what I do know is that Ebron is good, so you start him. And for the Bengals, you're going to be sitting down the fake man, Mr. Drew Sample, because the Steelers' defense is tough. Now on to Sunday Night Football. The Baltimore Ravens at the New England Deflatriots. I'm going to be starting up Mark Andrews in this game, but my God, has this season looked completely different than last for Mark Andrews. Nothing to do with Andrews either. That's the craziest part. It just has to deal with the fact that Lamar Jackson looks bad in these games. He is not making the throws he would have made last year. I think his confidence level is at an all-time low. As you guys know, confidence is key. He just doesn't seem to have it. This is a good matchup for Mark Andrews. We saw Cool Joe Flacco, dissect that defense. He cooked them up like his name was Chef Gordon fucking Ramsay. He was like the guy who sends him to Flavor Town, Guy Fieri. That's what he was doing out there up against the Patriots defense. So Lamar could definitely do it. This is the week for him to do it, so I like Mark Andrews, but man, does Mark Andrews kind of suck this season. But again, not his fault. For the Patriots, they have Nick Boyle, maybe? I don't think so. I think fucking Nick Boyle's still on the Ravens. There wasn't even anyone of the Patriots to name. That's how bad it is for the Patriots. All their fucking tight ends that they drafted are all on the IR. They drafted like 3 tight ends, and none of them are playing. So, with that said, sit down Nick Boyle, who I believe is still on the Ravens. I'm like 99% sure. And then Mark Andrews, you're going to be sitting him down as well. And by sit, I mean start, even though it's kind of scary because of how bad he has been. But at the end of the day, the tight end position is so fucking top-heavy that you just have to start these guys with the big names that have the shot to do it. And final game here, we got the Monday Night Football matchup between the Minnesota Vikings at the Chi-Town Bears. And in this one, I like Jimmy Graham, 9-inch Nick Foles, Jimmy Graham, the combination that you've never wanted to see, but is beautiful. Sun shines and fucking rainbows happen, and you see that fucking leprechaun that is on the cover of Lucky Charms after they throw a touchdown. It's just beautiful. Jimmy Graham has looked good in the red zone. Jimmy Graham has looked good going up the field, looked like. Besides Allen Robinson, the really only target that 9-inch Nick Foles can fucking actually hit. The guy looks like he's blindfolded in the pocket, but it doesn't matter. Jimmy Graham, I like him here up against a very bad Minnesota Vikings defense, and Irv Smith has been tearing it up. Frankly, looks much better than Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Kyle Rudolph, the other Vikings tight end. But with that said, I just don't trust him. I really don't, because what happens if the Vikings just don't throw the ball? They just start running it again, and then you get fucked. So go ahead and sit down Mr. Irv Smith on the week. So thank you guys all so much for watching this video. Let me know down below if you ended up enjoying. Make sure you had a great time. Or not make sure you had a great time. Let me know if you had a great time. If you had a bad time, right, fuck you, Nick. It's all good to me. I love you all anyways. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your guys' day, and I'll see you beautiful bastards later on the live stream in a couple of hours at around 6-ish Eastern Standard Time, maybe 7. It's before the fucking game kicks off. I will be live. I'm always live on Thursdays as well as on Sundays, so I really appreciate the support you guys have shown me. It means the world to me. We're nearing 1,500,000 viewers, which is insane. Like, that's such a crazy fucking number. Even if it's not 1,500,000 total people have viewed it, I'd assume at least over 100,000 people have seen my videos, even maybe 50,000. Either way, that's fucking a crazy number. So I won't go ahead and just elaborate on that right now. I will be creating a podcast when the off season starts, where I talk about other things that are not football related. I got to think of a name for that, but if you guys do enjoy just me and you're not really just here for the fantasy football content, go ahead and make sure that you guys check that out when it comes out. I don't know why I just looked behind me. Something fucking made a noise behind me. Scared the fuck out of me. I love you. OverlayDFS.com. Have a great rest of your guys' day, and I'll see you beautiful bastards in the live stream. I love you all. Stay safe. Goodbye.